What's going on, everybody? A little Sunday afternoon ham radio action. Thanks so much for joining me in the shack. Just knocking the cobwebs off, testing out some stuff. So come on in. The water is warm. Gonna work through some stuff here. Turn the radio up. Here. You know what you guys are up to today. Getting ready to get dinner ready to go. Definitely been working on stuff in the shack pretty much all day long today. So it's definitely been a busy ham radio day for me. Just trying to get new stuff set up in the shack and organized and got everything cleaned up after the amplifier install. So it's been a little crazy, but I think we got it sorted now. What's going on, KG7POU? What are you up to this afternoon? I say it is afternoon for you. Yep, afternoon for everybody still. I'm like, it's only 4:40. What time zone are you in? I'm assuming you're west of me if you're a 7 call, but we can't be so sure of that anymore because nowadays you could be anywhere, giving people grabbing calls. So getting ready to have dinner, watch a little football later on tonight. That's kind of the plan for us. Chilling. What's for dinner tonight? Hopefully it's something good, man. I've been on the radio a little bit today. I was chasing some parks on the air stations, handing out some points. So that's what I've been doing. And then just finishing up, I just got a new computer in the shack, a new amplifier in the shack. So my shack was completely in pieces. So I'm finally getting things back in order. Check. There we go. You're in 7. All right. A fend for yourself night. A fend for yourself night for me, that means pizza's coming to the door really fast. That's what I usually do. Or maybe Chinese food. Order that. That's my like fend for yourself. Which I don't have a problem with because it's actually not that bad. Chinese food, pizza. It's not a bad way to spend the evening. Let's see here. Adjustments there. The other thing I was talking about with somebody on Twitter, I thought it was a good topic, was what did people get for the holidays for new equipment, right? It's always nice when Santa Claus brings new ham radio toys. I said, for me, I think I'm going to have to slow my spending down for maybe a month or two here because I've dropped a ton of money in the shack here in the last month. So I got lots of new stuff I've been installing, but I'm curious to what all of you have been getting new for the holidays here. So let me know what you guys have gotten new, maybe over December into January here. Anything new, anything cool? New radios, amplifiers, new SDRs, anything. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know what you got that's new. There we go. All right, perfect. Perfect. I did, Don. I did get the amplifier online. I got everything grounded out. I had a few little gremlins that get stored in the shack that popped up and only became apparent once I put more power in. Got that stuff sorted, and I finally got everything in here back together. So, yep, we're humming along, pushing between 600 and 800 watts, depending on what I'm trying to do. I try to keep it around 650. That way, I'm not stressing stuff too much. Nothing new, already off the list. Well, if you already got stuff off your list, then you're sitting in good shape already. There. Yeah, it was crazy for me just with trying to get a new computer in here and then getting the amplifier running and getting it all up and going. So it was nuts. Yeah, for sure. There are things that could be going on that you never notice at 100 watts. And that was certainly the case for me. And it was mostly just these little tiny grounding issues with my ground rod setup outside that, again, a couple days had it cleared up, troubleshot some stuff. And the other thing was the antenna, the balun that I was using, I blew out the balun like in the first few transmissions that I made on the amplifier. And it was rated for it, but it didn't stand up to it. It wasn't quite up for the test of what it was rated for. So had to troubleshoot that. That's the hardest part, right? Like when you have multiple problems at the same time, absolute worst. But I got it sorted, so that was good news. All right, I got to go check out the QRZ then. Let's check out your shack, see what you're working with. All right, let's see. KG7POU. If you don't have your shack sorted at 100 watts, putting an amplifier, you will be forced to figure it out. All right, nice. Oh, yeah, I like that. Got plenty of monitors. I can appreciate that. I got 4 monitors in front of me. So I like that. That looks really nice. You're definitely out there at the events. That's super cool. Yeah, nice. I like that. It's a good looking shack. Is that a... I can't tell if it's like Grid Tracker or a Geochron. Not to mention an arcade game in a shack. Now that's next level. I don't see that a ton on QRZ. So you've risen to a whole new level if you're doing that. I need to get me a game in here. I got some space I could utilize behind me. I could probably slide in maybe Pac-Man or something. All right. Yeah, it's definitely a whole new layout for me, which is kind of different because coming up soon we have some contests that I want to participate in, and I'm kind of used to contesting setups with the way my shack used to be designed. And when you get into contests, you got to kind of be familiar with your operating surroundings, your computer. You got to kind of have all that stuff like knocked out, right? Just from a physical layout standpoint, from a software standpoint. And now that I have a brand new computer and a whole new shack layout, I feel kind of uneasy. Like I got to probably do another contest or two before I kind of get everything smoothed out, but we'll get it done. Audio's good, Eric. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm assuming you're, of course, watching on mobile, so that's good. That everything is synced up. But hey, buying a computer of this generation, who would have thought, right? That it made a difference. But boy, all the difference in the world. HRD, you know what? I used to run Ham Radio Deluxe many years ago. I haven't run it recently, so I haven't seen it in quite some time. I'm not sure if there's any new updates recently, but I used to run it like back in like 2011, 12, 13, somewhere in there. Honestly, I've been getting lazy. I don't have like an actual software that I log to that syncs up with everything. I kind of use QRZ as my master record and then sync everything off of QRZ. It's kind of a weird workflow, at least compared to what a lot of people do, but it's been working for me. And then if I'm doing contesting, I'm using N3FJP as my primary contesting software. So that's what I've been using. And it's worked out pretty well. I mean, N3FJP is really easy to use, so I've been really happy with that. But if I'm just rag chewing, like I'm chasing POTA, I'm just going out and making contacts in an afternoon, I'm just on QRZ. And just punch them in manually, and then I can look right at their QRZ page while I'm doing that. So, and I know that a lot of that stuff's integrated in software now, but that's just what I do. Some people don't think that that's a good thing to do, or they don't like that, and think that you should always have the software route. I just never found it to be like something I absolutely have to have. Like, I suppose I am putting all my eggs in the basket of QRZ if they wreck their servers, but it is also synced to Logbook of the World. So as long as QRZ and Logbook of the World don't implode at the same time, my QRZ, my Logbook records should be okay. I hope. I certainly don't trust Logbook of the World not to end up frying itself one day, because that thing is cobbled together. But I'm also having with a new computer to get my new TQSL certificate. So it's funny, I think it's probably easier to launch a nuclear missile than it is to get your computer registered with the Logbook of the World.
I'm sorry you're feeling that way.
Yeah, so am I. Apparently Siri was listening to my conversation. But it's pretty funny that I have to now reset up everything. And that's the tough part with a new computer in the shack too. I was putting it off for so long. because like you accumulate so many little things, so many little settings, so many little technical documents that I should have kept closer tabs on where I put those documents or just kept more of them. Yeah, Siri is fine. That's right. Good to see you in here as well, Matt. KC0LAW there. He's a local to me here in the Twin Cities. You have so much stuff you accumulate in your shack, things that you got to work just right, settings, set up right. And all of a sudden you throw a brand new computer and you're like, I got to reset up this again, reset up that again. Oh, that's right. I got to reconnect this. What were those settings again? I'm going through all of that right now. So a lot of my time is just spent on figuring out all those settings for all the stuff that I've been using on my ham shack computer. But I'll get there. It'll be fine. And certainly having a computer that's brand new is a heck of a lot better than a 13-year-old refurbed business unit desktop. So this is going to be a big step up and make streaming just a heck of a lot easier than having to constantly struggle with audio sync issues. So that's good. You got to keep tabs on KC0LAW and Eric out there. But maybe they're not going to have a drink at dinner. I don't know. They're going to have some good food for dinner tonight, I think. So they're having a little ham radio / family meetup here in the Twin Cities. Camera looks good. Awesome. I said I don't have a dedicated webcam. I actually use my iPhone is my camera. So I'm using an iPhone 14 Pro as my camera right now. And then, of course, I have my lighting both behind and in front and all that stuff. But, yeah, the iPhone works great. Wirelessly connects to the computer. Just awesome. It's like, why spend $3,000 in a nice DSLR when this thing looks pretty darn good by itself? So, but this setup now with the new equipment, the new hardware, it's definitely going to allow me to go live a whole lot more often, make more video content in 2023. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. In fact, the next thing I'm looking forward to, Don, you'll appreciate this. Hams on the ice, man. Hams on the ice. I really want to be there this year. As long as it doesn't happen when I'm gone on vacation, I'm coming. And I definitely want to capture a ton of photos and a ton of videos this year because it's such a cool event that we have here in Minnesota. Yeah, 14 Pro is good. You know what it is, man. It's a great phone. I've been really happy with it. I'll have to share my story on DMR of I was actually at the Apple store yesterday. Really long story short, I finally turned in my iPhone 13 Pro to them, and I walked out with an Apple Watch. And let me tell you, it's a whole story, man. It's a long-winded one, but I'll have to share that with you sometime. It's my first bad experience-ish with Apple where I was kind of like, really? So... But again, I don't know how it happened. I turn my phone in, I walk out with a watch. Long story. I should bring the desktop to the ice. I mean, how else am I going to do FT8, I can't bring the crap top with me, so that would never work. I do have LTE in my watch. Yep. I have LTE on this one. My wife has LTE on hers as well. And she got, of course, the 8. This is the 8 as well. I said they're just really great, especially for the fitness tracking part. That's really, what we use them for, and especially for her, because her giving her job, having an EKG she can run right in her wrist, she likes that. You have a bridge to sell me. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be a buyer of the bridge that runs across the Mississippi on 35 from downtown Minneapolis. I know that's new, but I've heard there's been problems before, so I'm not buying that one. If it's that one, Don, just saying. Oh my God. I still remember when that happened. I think I was in college when that happened. Today I was also working a little bit on the CPS code plug for my DMR radio. That was another thing I was doing today. Let me adjust something here. Let me move this. There we go. So I was working on this today. I have a lot of work to do on this. I really wanted to accomplish the code plug updating for this radio while I was out on break from work at the end of the year, but I got stranded in North Dakota for a number of days, kind of ate into some of the time that I was planning that I thought I was going to have free to work on this, but this is another big thing I got to figure out. I need to do some serious updating, but with Eric's help in the chat, it's probably going to make life a lot smoother to take a look at what he's done and maybe try to pull some of that stuff over to make my life a little bit easier, but there's still a lot of cleanup to do in there. It works, it's functional, but as you know, if you have a code plug radio, your code plug is never finished. Never. It's a constant struggle all the time. So, and I'm definitely on that. And as long as I'm doing that one, I might as well do this one while I'm at it too. That way I can get my entire life in order. Yeah, Eric's busy working, man. He's out there pumping out code plugs. He's going to become the code plug czar. Not to mention, he's adding events to the website for MinnesotaHamRadio.com. I know I have to still add the Richfield Club. That's still on my to-do list. Speaking of stuff I haven't gotten to yet, I know the Richfield Club asked me to add them, and I haven't done it yet. So I still have things I need to get to there, too. But my list is never ending. Whether it's ham radio stuff, depending on what category of radio stuff, home life, work life, you name it. There's always something to do. So you'll have to tell me what you were drinking out there. You're going from beer to whiskey now, but what kind of beers were you drinking? Hopefully, again, in my honor, it's some kind of light blonde ale, because that's what I'd be ordering. I'm not into the hard stuff. Can't do the dark stuff. I tried it one time. Did not go well. Did not go well. Darks only. Well, you're a professional. I mean, you are a professional. You are at a whole nother level. And that's where a lot of my friends are, too, that are into it. Like, they drink only the dark stuff. Peanut butter porter. Ooh, just hearing that, it sounds thick. Just hearing that. I'm assuming it is. Is it, like, thick and frothy? Because that's kind of the picture I got in my mind. Let's see if anyone's going to make an appearance here on the radio. I know you got your radio on still. Someone's got their HT over there. I don't know what the coverage is like and where that place is located, but who's going to be the first one to make an appearance on the stream via DMR? Let me know. We'll see. I got it turned up. Hey, look at this. Got it turned up. Let's see if anybody can hit one of the machines. But yeah, we're just winding down. Which talk group am I on? Is that a question? You see it. It really is only one. Actually, two, if you count the statics. Because I only carry two statics on the hotspot. It's 3127 and 31272. Those are the only two that I really carry. And anything else, I just key up dynamically and drop it when I'm done. Eric is drinking water. Oh, man. I mean, I suppose if you were hitting it hard at the brewery, maybe it is water time with dinner. But again, you and Eggman there, you know, another level. You could probably go another 2 or 3 and be just fine.
W0EDG on Minnesota Metro.
There it is. Eric's the winner. He makes an appearance. W0EDG, K0LWC. Joining in the live stream to say hello. Hey, what's going on, Eric Tech Stuffs?
Hello, live stream W0EDG from Savage, Minnesota.
Have fun out there. Enjoy the barbecue. Hopefully it's as good as the place out west to me. And, you know, maybe just throw in just a little bit of whiskey in addition to the water. W0EDG, K0LWC. Oh, it's getting into the mic. I'm not surprised, because when I keyed this up, it's being picked up, I think, in the XLR cable. Because I was noticing that, and I'm on low power, too. But yeah, this cable being right here, I'm not surprised. Let's see how far I can get away here. Hold on. Out here. Can you guys still pick it up from way out here? Because according to my audio interface, it's not being picked up, but let me know. And Eric, yeah, glad to work you in FT8. I don't know what your call sign is, but glad to pick you up if we did. You have the Anytone DMR. Yeah, the code plugs. I mean, it's the best thing you can do is if you have someone local to you. I'm not sure where you're at, Eric. If you have somebody that has a starter plug that's already pre-built, that you can just see it, look at how it's laid out, and work off of that. That would be your best bet. That'll really speed things up for you. If you're starting from scratch, it's a little bit more of a slog. It'll take a little bit more time.
W0EDG. I'm picking you up through Burnsville. LAW doesn't have Burnsville in its radio.
But yeah, if you have someone local that you can look at and work off of and steal parts from, it's the best way to go. But where are you at, Eric? I do have an RF choke on the cable too. Yeah. Apparently, I need to put some more on here to maybe try to choke it out. I actually have some spares I could add on to this. That might work. I'm surprised that it actually gets overloaded even on low power, but it is literally right next to all this cabling, so it's not a total surprise. Very faintly. Well, I'm glad that moving it away, but like I'm already like at that point I'm like 6 feet away from the microphone, so that ain't gonna work. So I'll have to try to figure out how to get it shielded a little bit better, put some more chokes here on the system, and see if I can stop it. But I have a feeling that it maybe could actually make it right into the case itself on the interface. It's plastic; it's not a metal case like my Studio V3 preamp is. So, given the fact it's plastic, I have a feeling that it might not be the best, and it might just like pour into that interface. So that might be a bit of a challenge, but we'll see. Well, Donna, have you had any radio stuff this weekend you've been doing? Have you been doing any HF stuff? Been doing anything on checking the nets this weekend? I know I checked in on Wednesday night, of course, to the DMR net. For those folks local to Minnesota, I had a huge turnout for the DMR breakfast on Saturday morning. Most I've ever seen at our DMR breakfast, like 13 people. We had to like steal extra tables to accommodate all the folks that showed up on Saturday. I think there was a lot of pent-up demand with the holidays and people just being busy over the holidays, wanting to get out with all the snow we've been having, finally good roads to drive on. So I think that was definitely a huge part of it. From a Torchies, well, that's just going to make me salivate and be jealous. WA2KGG, Charleston. Oh, I mean, heck yeah. Eric, I mean, with you being down in South Carolina, I mean, that's like easy pickings for me, typically 20, 17, yeah, depending if how far towards the coast you are, and certainly on 10 as well. But I do really well just generally propagation-wise down to the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida. So I'm not surprised because I definitely do pretty well that way. Yep. I see Igman's got some good information. You know, it's basically like your repeater offsets, right? And then a time slot, you just got to make sure you know which one you're on, one or two, and what the repeater owner wants. Or if you're on a hotspot, it's up to you. And then talk group, and then color code. Color code is just like a PL tone, basically. A little HF work. Replace the coax. What was the coax having some water intrusion? What was going on with that? Or you just wanted something a little bit better in terms of the coax for that? Oh, 100 watts in a wire nut tonight? All right, where's that then? Is it on HF? I'm assuming so, given it is 100 watts in a wire and not a digital mode or something like that. Until no one responds. But yeah, you know, you never can go wrong with investing in coax. There's no question about that. It's one of the best investments you can make. Try putting on an outside antenna. On 40, okay. What frequency is it on? And then what time? Maybe I'll try to listen in depending on when it is. I know that my son's about to wake up here from his afternoon nap and things are about to get crazy, but I might be able to try and make it. You want me to, David, you want me to put an outside antenna on my HT? Is that what you're talking about? Because I've certainly done that. Unfortunately, it's not doable on the Motorola. It is on the Anytone, though, where I hook up my HT to the big vertical at 40 feet with a little adapter. Oh, yeah. I heard LAW there, but you were digi. You were breaking up. Yeah, DX Engineering's been good to me, too. I've had no problems with them. They are typically higher price than other vendors, but at the same time, I found their service and their responsiveness been really great. So they're not the cheapest, but you kind of get what you pay for there. Starts at 7. You at 8. Oh, I wonder if I can hear you. Have you ever heard me on 40? On ground wave? I don't know. I wonder if you're in that situation where like you are close by, but you're just a little too close, but also too far. Like you're not in a good spot for me for 40. Oh, I heard somebody in there. Was that Galen? It was Galen. He must have been a Minnesota State, I would guess. Yeah, 40 is tricky. The only people I hear in 40 locally, for the most part, if are like literally my neighbors. I mean, I have people that are my neighbors that are active hams that are on the air fairly regularly that live within a mile of me, half a mile of me. And you always know when they're on because they're like 35, 40 over S9, 50 over S9. I mean, they just blow up and you can tell, oh, one of my neighbors is on. And then we always stop by and say hi to each other. Or the 705. Nice. Can't go wrong with the 705, man. I don't have one. I would love one. I just don't really have enough of a use, although I suppose I could take it out to Hams in the Park more often versus home, because I'm not tearing this stuff down anymore. If you've seen me at Hams in the Park when like I'm operating, I'm out there with Ian, like I'm not taking the 7300 out because now I got so much stuff in here with the amp and all these things. It's kind of solidifying into like I'm not going to take it out anymore. So I might have to look at a 705 by the springtime, but don't tell my wife. So that might happen when it gets a little warmer. Oh, nice. I mean, you guys must get a lot of check-ins for that net, I imagine, Don, right? 7220 plus or minus. Just don't go 7200 plus or minus. Yeah, 705 is great radio. I mean, I steer people in that direction all the time over the cheap Chinese stuff. You can't go wrong with the 705. You got a great antenna. The 705 is going to do you great for portable work. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, can you believe I go to Hams in the Park? Oh my goodness. Hams in the Park. Hams in the breweries, HITB. Hams in the barbecue restaurants, HITB. There's something there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the only net that I know of from my old times is being on the radio for so long that is a consistent net. I actually know my memory. I've never checked in, though, is Midcars. Never checked in, though. But that's such a prolific net. It's been around forever. I think it's, 7258, I think, if my mind serves me right. Another key up. Who was it? Oh, that was KC0LAW again, but I only saw like just for Blippy. I'm not sure if you just keyed up or if you were trying to get in there. By the way, one of the features I like about this radio, this is again the Motorola R7, is the fact that you can play back things you miss. So we'll go back to Eric's comment here earlier. So I can go in here and click play audio. It gives me a timestamp, a date, and a duration. So I'll just click OK.
Good. LWC W0EDG clear.
It's really handy because when you hear something and you're in the other room and you're like, wait a minute, who was that? You can kind of go back and be like, oh, that was so-and-so. It's really, really handy to have that recording and playback feature. I really like that about the R7. So again, if you're in here and you didn't hear my question earlier, the question is this. What did Santa bring you for ham radio toys for the holidays? If you got a new radio, a new antenna, anything new gear, drop a comment in the chat. I'm curious.
W0EDG, KC0LAW, and clear.
There you go. Made it in, Matt. Legal Eagle. K0LWC. Yes. Matt is being the legal guy that he is. Making sure that he identified.
KC0LAW, W0EDG. I'm trying to eat over here.
Sounds like they're having fun. Yeah, I mean, what the heck was it? Oh, I had a neighbor of mine.
WC and EDG. I think I have it on. I have it set. Hey, take care.
Eric going to respond? Or is he busy eating? What's going on, Bill? Good to see you tonight. You built an 80-meter Delta loop for Christmas. Well, there you go. You got the parts, put it together. Can't beat that. How's it performing for you? You get it on the air, or are you waiting for warmer weather? Because if you said warmer weather, knowing where you live, I wouldn't blame you, because I feel that way a lot about my projects right now. I got a lot of stuff I'm doing inside, but I'm not working on a lot of stuff outside, except for shoveling and snow blowing snow. That's it. On the air, nice. What's the, how high you got it up? And how did you get it strung up? I don't know about you guys over there, but we have a ton of snow. And it's been generally pretty cold. The last few days haven't been too bad, but blizzards, snow, it's just been snowing like all of December. That's right. The best antennas are built in winter. That's how it is in Minnesota. I don't know what it's like for folks in warmer climates, but in Minnesota, like, nets get more active, the radio comes more alive, and people go and hibernate in the wintertime in their basement, in their shack, and they work on all the projects that now they have time for, because we only have like 4 months out of the year we can actually be outside and be somewhat enjoyable, unless you like pain. So everyone works on their projects here in the wintertime. I'm sure it's probably the same for Michigan. Marlon, what amp do you have? KD9JAY. I bought a Ameritron ALS, this is not ALS, AL811 HD, which has the 4 570B tubes in it. So that's what I bought. It's a 800 watt amplifier. And yeah, it's been good so far. I mean, that's really what all I was looking for, was just something I can hum along at 650 watts, get that first triple, times 3 increase over 100 watts, and that's fine for me for now. It runs off 110, so you don't have to run a dedicated circuit for it. And it's been running great for me. I've been happy with it. Calling Ian on the stream. Put that in the logbook somehow, Matt. But yeah, so I have the AL811 HD. So far, so good. Been happy with it. Has a few quirks, but nothing that was a surprise based on all the research. Not to mention a very helpful Facebook group. There's an Ameritron users group, which is run by the guy that actually designed and first manufactured these amplifiers. He runs that group, and he is phenomenally helpful. He now runs his own company, CTR Engineering. What's going on, K0MRD? Good to see you tonight. Howdy, howdy. We're just in here doing some testing in the shack tonight, kicking some cobwebs and some new gear, making sure things are working the way it needs to work. Donna got a new amplifier. Old amps were out there. You're always a little like, how was it treated? Is it okay? Are you getting it from a trustworthy source? Was it abused? That kind of thing. But I'll tell you, I bought it new, but for what it is, it's pretty pricey for being brand new. Uh-oh. Hold on, we got a visitor. What'd you get? Oh, that's very cool. Here, you want to say hello to people? Here, my son is now awake. Here he is. Say hello.
Hello.
Do you like to go on the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you do. Do you talk to people all over the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Are you going to have your own house with your own antennas someday?
Yeah, but I need a real radio in there.
You do need a real radio in there, that's right. Okay, is it going to be a big radio?
No. It's going to be a real tiny one with a alarm on there.
Another alarm?
So I can talk to people all around the town. And when I'm back, I can see on the floor. Here I can check out all your computer stuff in case there are any bangs in here.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? You do talk to people all over town right now, right?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite radio friend that you talk to on the radio all the time?
Daddy.
Yeah, me. We talk on the radio. That's right. Is his name John?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his favorite. KA0KMJ. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We call him Big John. Hey.
What?
You're grabbing the microphone, you little stinker. All right, I'm going to be upstairs in just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I need my water bottle.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, yes, I am using, to answer Matt's question there, I am using a virtual mixer. So I am going in and processing the audio in a virtual mixer. It's got a little compression added to it. I have also some external hardware-based processing, so I'm also running it through an external tube-based preamplifier. Um, yeah, that's right. You've talked to him on the radio without a control op present. He's a DMR operator. Um, he loves to be on the radio. So we'll get him licensed as soon as we can. I know that there is no age restriction, but we gotta work through the ABCs first. So I have an external tube-based preamp, but then I also do a little touching of virtual processing on a virtual mixer, and then that is sent into the stream. So that's kind of what I'm using here for the audio setup right now. Yes, I hope he had a good nap, Bill. I really do, because if he didn't, I'm in big trouble tonight. I'm hoping that he had a good one. I know he wants to stay up and watch his favorite team play tonight. Now let's take a guess who that is. Sunday Night Football, of course. But yes, he loves to be on the radio. He's got his own radios. He walks around the house, the yard, the neighborhood, talking on the radio. Big FRS guy there. Big FRS guy. And apparently the occasional DMR when I'm not around. The Lions, no. He is a Packer fan, so he wants to watch the Packers tonight. So he is hoping for a Packer win. Let's say that. Another station, KF0RIK. Okay. I don't know do I know that call sign? I'm not sure if I do or not. It sounds familiar for some reason. And to go back up to your comment, David, what kind of 3D printer did you get? I'm curious. Before we got the little guy running in here. A 40-foot pole for Bill, pushed it up on a pulley at the top. Pulley, that's key. Pulley, and for my case, I have pulley system on my dipole and some springs and some weight tensioning it, so that way it doesn't come down as much. But winters are brutal. You know that, Bill. Let's see here. Each side sloping toward the north side of the center. Nice. Yeah, I said I want to get a good push-up pole. I don't really have a good mast right now. I'm not sure if I should go carbon fiber or not. Is what you have carbon fiber, Bill? Because I'm kind of on the fence of like wanting to get one for portable work, but I just don't know if carbon fiber is where I should be going. I mean, I'm not going to be hiking with it. I just will be in the car. But is yours carbon fiber? Awesome. Well, I'm glad it sounds good. I said it's definitely been a work in progress to get it sounding good and just get everything balanced, because you got the hardware and the software side. It's kind of like the radio, same thing. It took a lot of time to dial it in, but I think we're in a pretty good spot. Spider beams, fiberglass. You happy with the spider beam stuff? I've always heard good things about spider beams. Generally, I've really never heard a negative thing about spider beams, Don. Has that been your experience? Been pretty good? Oh, 3 of them. Wow. And you have like different heights, different sizes, or are they all 3 of the same thing? A Da Vinci. I'm going to say Mimi. I don't know if that's right. W plus. You're speaking a foreign language to me, man. I don't know much about 3D printers. I used to like see them at work, where I used to work a while back. They're pretty cool, man, to see what they can do. And I see a lot of people, including in our Minnesota ham radio Discord, that are now starting to print, parts with them. I'm seeing people that are printing all different kinds of ham parts with their 3D printer, which is really cool to see. I don't know much about them, but they certainly are cool. And I certainly did not do well with CAD design when I was in school, so I don't know if 3D printing is my thing. I know there's templates, but I don't know if I could really do it because CAD was never my shtick. Oh, we got to check on the chili?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, I'll be up in a second. Okay. But, yes, we're having chili for dinner tonight to watch football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's very easy, and he helped me make it, so he wants to make sure it's doing well.
Yeah, because otherwise it'll burn the house up, right?
Yeah, we don't want to burn the house down. That's right.
Yeah, otherwise we need to stop, drop, and roll, right?
Yeah, that's right. Stop, drop, and roll. You got it. Yeah, I said I got your question there for Charleston. I'll do some digging around and see if I can find one. And if I find one for you, Eric, I'll send it to you. So let me do some Googling. Let me send an email to somebody and see if I can find you a good starter version that you might be able to use. And Don, 2 for the NFEDs and 1 for POTA. Holding up the double bazooka. Cool. Awesome.
Because otherwise
you can never have enough things to hold up antennas. That's what I found. Right?
Otherwise they'll be fire the house. So
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
No. And what I found, here's a nice little hack if you're near Menards, which I know you are, Don, and anybody else in the Midwest or have a Menards store. I've been using for a lot of stuff the RCA antenna mast. It's like just cheap. I think it's 1.25 inches. I mean, literally, it's like $7 a section. Super cheap. You slot it in. It just puts together. If you want to put some cement in there, you can. If you're looking for a basic mast that you can put a standoff on.
Hey, Daddy.
Yes?
When I was upstairs, the water whacked me in the eyes.
Oh no, that's crazy. So what I found is that Menards antenna, it's actually made for old TV antennas, but it works great for a lightweight ham radio antenna. That's actually what I have on for a mast for my VHF UHF vertical.
That look like that was a bullet.
It's a bullet, yeah. All right. I'm going to go check a chili with this guy. So thanks so much for coming in here, hanging out with me, checking out the stream. This is my harmonic, Eric. He's my harmonic, my second harmonic. Causing some QRM, absolutely. I'm going to go check a chili for dinner with him. So thanks for helping me test the stream, coming, saying hi, and letting me chat for an evening with you guys. I appreciate it. We'll have some more live streams coming up. I'm going to get the radio interface, get everything back together. So there'll be more stuff coming in the future. Appreciate it, guys. And thanks so much. Have a good night. And are we going to have a good night tonight? Chili, football? Hello? Are we going to have a good night?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys. 73, take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday.